Hello everyone.
Hello, hello.
I'm Tony.
And I'm Tally.
And we are the Lazy Book Lovers. This is a podcast for book lovers who procrastinate about reading and have never-ending to-be-read piles. So today's episode is a little vampire TBR rec list, we're calling it. Because you might have seen a few episodes ago, we had the episode that was like paranormal and fantasy romance.
Episode 112.
There you go. And we were kind of, through that, we kind of realised vampires are having a little comeback right now. Mm-hmm. And we're both here for it. So Tally thought, why not do a little rec list based on the vampire books that have been on her TBR for years.
Yeah, these are long overdue for me to read.
And like, because we're bringing vampires back, let's bring back some vampire books. Yeah. And give you guys a little recommendations list, hopefully.
Yes, well, suggestions. I can't
suggestions,
them.
sorry. You know what I mean?
Not read them.
I just call it's all recommendations.
I know,
even if I haven't read them, I'm like...
I just like to make the distinction sometimes because I don't want someone to read something and be like, you said this was this, and I'll be like, well, no, I didn't like that.
We said the description sounded good. Like, well, we know.
Yeah, so most of these are ones that I own, and I just need to read them, basically.
They're in the Dragon Hoard.
Physically or ebookly.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I always forget you have an ebook hoard as well.
Disgraceful. I've never once looked at the number of it because I can't. I'm too busy spiralling with my physical books. Like, I can't add anything else.
So are they not in your total of, like, you know, you've got your total books owned versus ones I've read?
No, that's just my physical.
Oh. Right.
Yeah, I will.
Do you not want to know the number?
No.
I don't have a lot hoarded in my Kindle library, but I haven't had my Kindle for as long.
Yeah, I've had my Kindle for 15 years. Something like that.
Yeah. No, mine's only about 3-4 years of hoarding.
I don't even know how I would find out how many I have.
Yeah, because it doesn't give you like a library, like total in your library summary, does it? Does it?
Oh.
What's the number?
Oh.
Gwen.
I've read
Shame yourself publicly.
Of them.
Right.
Have a guess at how many I read. Ballpark.
250?
No, real guess. Like within
that was my real
to
guess.
the nearest 100.
200. Why? What? Am I way over
You're
or way under?
So below. Like, have a real guess.
I thought I was shooting high. Okay, 600. Natalie!
Okay, this is books, comics and manga. Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Unread, 1,184.
Fucking hell!
There's so many times I go and I'm like, oh, that ebook's in a 99p sale. I'm going to pick that up, and it's like, you already own it, and I'm like, oh well, fuck up.
That is so much worse than I was predicting. Like, that is so.
Is it though? I mean, it's me.
I don't think there's even 1,000 books in this room.
Well, it sounds like you should get buying.
I've got a small room, all right? We have to have a one-in, one-out system.
You need to have 1,000 books for it to be a library.
Oh my god, I'd love to have like 1,000 books. I would love to have like an actual legit library.
Oh god, that'd be amazing. Okay, right.
Sorry.
So,
anyway,
the top of my list is a travesty. I've not read it. I'm going to say that for probably all of these, to be fair.
Yep.
Dracula by Bram Stoker.
I thought you started this.
Yeah.
Okay.
The vibes weren't right, so.
I mean, if you like long Christian monologues, Bram Stoker's for you.
Can't say I do.
Yeah. So I read Bram Stoker for sixth form. So for non-English people, that would have been my education when I was like 17, 18. So it would have been electives, by the way. Well, we choose them. Yeah, so that was not fun to study for A-levels, to be honest. And I don't know if that ties my hatred of the book into it.
Maybe.
But it's like, it's fucking long.
Yeah, it's like 400 440 pages.
Really? It's only 440 pages.
But it's like teeny writing, isn't it? Because it's...
Yeah. It's just a lot.
It depends on the edition, obviously. The edition I'm looking at on...
It's a good book. If you kind of like speed read where they kind of monologue about like saving Mina's soul and blah, 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 blah. And...
Because my edition is really, really thin.
I've got the Penguin edition.
The text is like...
Teeny tiny.
Bible text.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know...
Yeah, do the proper description.
Dracula, a chilling masterpiece of the horror genre, Dracula also illuminated dark corners of Victorian sexuality. When Jonathan Harker visits Transylvania to advise Count Dracula on a London home, he makes a horrifying discovery. Soon afterwards, a number of disturbing incidents unfold in England. An unmanned ship is wrecked at Whitby. Strange puncture marks appear on a young woman's neck, and the inmate of a lunatic asylum raves about the arrival of his master, while a determined group of adversaries prepares to face the terrifying Count. So I went to university near Whitby, and I've been to all of the Dracula attractions there, yeah. I've done it all.
You've done it all.
So I don't know why I haven't read this book.
Isn't there like a whole bit in the graveyard? Have you been to the graveyard?
I've been to... Oh, you gave it a 3-star.
Did I?
Oh. How do you feel about that then?
It's still like, it's a really, if you enjoy fantasy and horror and all those kind of things, I think it's a good one to read because so much of the symbolism in this permeates everything that came after. A lot of what you see in here, you see over and over again. Like it's the popularization of like the vampire myth. A lot of it comes from this.
Yeah, although Carmilla does outdate this.
Yes. Well, in terms of what's taught, I guess. Yeah.
But it's about lesbian vampires, so I guess it's not something people want.
Whereas this
tutors want to discuss.
Super Christian, so I reckon it would have been acceptable for young ladies to be reading.
Yeah.
Because it is very much about how Mina is this chaste, loyal wife.
Is she the one that it said the young girl with the fang marks on her neck?
So that's her friend. Her friend who's single and is a bit coquettish.
Single and ready to mingle.
So while Jonathan's away, she's hanging out with her pal. No, Jonathan comes back. I can't remember the timeline. It's so long since I read it.
Mina will play.
But when they're in Whitby together, Jonathan's not there, and I can't remember why. Maybe he's still on his trip at this point. Yeah, it's her friend that starts to get mysterious bite marks. So Mina's receiving That's it, right. So Mina's receiving letters from Jonathan Harker telling the story of his strange time in Transylvania. And so at this point, he's not returned from his travels. So she's getting these letters, and she's like, I'm a bit concerned. But obviously letters are arriving like later than what Jonathan's doing.
Yeah.
And then her friend starts to act strangely. So then that's when she gets Van Helsing involved.
Van Helsing. Stop with the accent.
So that's when Van Helsing gets in the picture and starts teaching her about vampires and stuff. And they try and save her friend, and they can't. And then it starts to happen to Mina too. And they're like, not Mina, our chaste, good Christian wife. And that's where a lot of the monologues come from. I don't know, there's like a chase through Transylvania, and there's like wolves hunting them, because in this world vampires control the animals. It's good. It's just very 1800s writing.
So, I wanted to do this thing called Dracula Daily, and I missed the start of it last year.
That's why I thought you'd read it.
Yeah, it starts on the 3rd of May, so I'm in time to do it this year. And they, you get a newsletter email to you, the dates of the letters that she receives.
Yeah.
So you get them on the day that she would have got them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's mostly told through letters and stuff.
So you will be reading a book from May to November.
That's not too bad.
So I might do that.
Yeah. I think it's a nice way to break the book down. Because it's a chunky boy. It's lots and lots of like very florid 1800s language.
I can imagine. Right.
But I think it's a good one to read if you like the genre. So,
it's worth a try, hey?
yeah.
Maybe in November I'll tell you about it. I'm not very good at sticking to things. Next on my list is Shanghai Immortal by A.Y. Chou. And this is the first in the Shanghai Immortal series.
Okay.
So this is a adult fantasy debut that has Chinese deities and demons set in the Jazz Age in Shanghai.
Okay.
And it follows a half vampire, half fox spirit. So, pawned by her mother to the King of Hell as a child, Lady Jing is half vampire, half hallucinating fox spirit, and all sasshole. As the king's ward, she has spent the past 90 years running errands, dodging the taunts of her spiteful Jing courtiers, and trying to control her explosive temper with varying levels of success. So when Jing overhears the courtiers plotting to steal a priceless dragon pearl from the king, she seizes her chance to expose them once and for all. Has it got a picture of a pearl on the cover? I need to read 2 books in a row that have a picture of a pearl on for a challenge I'm doing this year.
Okay, it's random.
And I'm really struggling to find books I want to read with pearls on the cover.
You probably need to go for some classics, right?
I don't really, yeah.
Have a little look at my classic shelf.
Apparently the second book in the Heaven Official's Blessing has a pearl on it.
I only have book 1.
So I could do, if I read the first book, I could read the second book and then this one.
Because those books are not cheap.
No. Well, they're about the same price as Zodiac Academy books, aren't they?
Yeah, but Zodiac Academy was all gifted to me.
Cheap.
Yeah. They were all gifted. And to be fair, Heaven's Official Blessing's been on my wish list as well. No one has purchased.
So I am looking forward to this one. I've got a copy of it. It's had really good reviews.
I have not heard of this at all. I won't lie
Maybe
to
you'll
you.
recognise the cover.
Yes. Okay. I recognise the cover.
Yeah, this is on. I think I might have put it on my 24 books to read in 2024 because I knew I wanted to get to it soon. So hopefully I'll read it soon.
I believe in you.
Yeah, I don't. Right. I mean, the rate I'm reading at the minute.
Yes,
I
mean, and you're reading like series that you were supposed to get back to and all sorts of stuff.
I know. Check me out. Who even is she?
Who is she?
Next on my list is by an author that if anyone knows anything about me, you'll be shook if I haven't read this yet.
Okay.
Masters of Death by Olivie Blake.
Yeah, I am shocked.
Right?
I thought you'd read everything by her.
No, I'm waiting for the right time.
Is she one of your ones that you're hoarding for a special...
For the vibes, yeah.
Special rainy day where nothing stressful happens?
Yeah, so I have them for like 400 years.
Yeah.
So Masters of Death is a fantasy queer romance. It follows a real estate agent. The real estate agent is a vampire, and the house that she's trying to sell is haunted. The ghost haunting the house.
Wait, I'm so gonna go add this to my list right now. You carry on.
The ghost haunting the house has been murdered, but he doesn't know how he died. And then there's also a medium who happens to be an absolute fraud. He's not a real medium, he's a fraud. And he's the godson of death.
All right.
So, yeah, when Viola, who is the vampire, seeks out Fox, who is the medium, to help her with the ghost issue, there's other people that end up helping out. There's a poltergeist,
It's on Audible.
an angel, etc., etc. Yeah, it sounds fun.
This sounds so good.
I have a really pretty copy as well, obviously.
Yeah, on Amazon, it's a witty, spellbinding fantasy from the author of Atlas 6.
Agreed, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, it's on Audible. Interesting.
It's on Everand, isn't it?
Is it on Everand? Hold on, guys.
Everand have stopped their referral scheme.
Have they?
Yeah, it's made me sad.
I just sent someone a link as well. One of my friend's partners likes to read audio a lot and gets through Audible's included library way too fast.
No, it's not on Everand. It's on the library one. BorrowBox is where it is. So you could set that up.
I don't need another platform. It's too much on my plate as it is.
Whatever.
It's alright, it's on Kindle and it's on Audible.
Sorted.
I'll get to it eventually. These rec lists, I want you to all appreciate the work I'm doing for you, because all it does is give me more things to read. And who has the time? I do this for you. It's such a noble sacrifice.
Okay, next on my list is a Grady Hendrix that I haven't read, and I tend to read all of his books.
Yeah.
So the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires.
I'm really shocked you haven't read them.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think I wanted it in an audio and I couldn't find it at the time. I bet I can find it now though. So this follows a wife and mother who is feeling very downtrodden and underappreciated. Her husband's a workaholic, her teenage kids have their own lives and don't really need her anymore. She's got a senile mother-in-law that she needs to constantly look after. She's got an endless to-do list. Basically my life. And the only thing that is for her and keeps her sane is the book club she's in, which is like a local book club. They are a true crime book club specifically. They love a bit of true crime. And then one day, Patricia, who is our main character, is viciously attacked by one of the elderly neighbours, and then the neighbour's nephew comes to look after the elderly neighbour, James. He is well-travelled, well-read, makes her feel things she hasn't felt in years. But then children start going missing in town, and she starts to wonder if he is a killer. And she discusses it with her book club, and they decide to go and do their own true crime justice.
So these like an old ladies detective club?
They're not old ladies, they're like,
middle-aged?
Yeah.
Okay.
Book club. And she thinks he's a serial killer. He is, but of a vampire variety.
Oh!
So, yeah.
Oh, I like that.
It's, standard Grady Hendrix. It's like fun, pulpy, camp horror. It's just, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think this might be the only one left on my list now of his that I need to read.
I thought you'd powered through all of them.
I recently read his non-fiction book about the history of horror fiction in the 70s and 80s. But yeah, this is Final. Yeah, I've done Final Girl Support Group. Yeah, so this is the last one, and his short story collection that I need. Well, he's got a few short stories, but yeah, and then I've done all of his books so far.
Nice.
Yeah, very much looking forward to that. As I said, I wanted it as an audio, and I'm sure I can get hold of it now.
Yeah, I've got a lot of audio platforms.
Yeah, I've got enough that I'm sure I can find it somewhere. Next on my list is Fangs by Sarah Anderson. This is a graphic novel.
Yeah. And
it is a love story between a vampire and a werewolf. I think it's like a slice of life. Elsie is a 300-year-old vampire, and in that time she's never met her match. And it all changes one night when she meets Jimmy in a bar, who is a charming werewolf with a wry sense of humour and a fondness for running wild during the full moon. Together they enjoy horror films, scary novels, shady strolls, fine dining, although never with garlic, and a genuine fondness for each other's unusual habits, macabre lifestyles and monstrous appetites. So it started off as a webcomic series, and it's been bound as a graphic novel. It's only 100 pages. It's just never available anywhere like KU or the library, so I'd have to physically buy a copy.
You're trying to curb your spending habits.
Yeah, so this one I don't own, but I need to read it. I want to read it. It looks cute. I'm sure I could possibly find a webcomic online anyway. Yeah. And it's well reviewed. Yeah, and the art looks really cute, like the art I've seen of it.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like that werewolves are making a comeback too. Honestly, we're just finally recovering from Twilight.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a werewolf one next. I'm sure I've got loads of werewolf books as well.
Yeah, but not just Shifter Trash though, because obviously they've been around forever.
I don't think I own many.
There's nothing wrong with Shifter Trash. I just want to get out ahead of that. There's just a lot of it, and it's of varying qualities.
Yeah, and I think that's what killed them off for a while, because...
Yeah.
No, like, I like... If it's going to be shifters, I want things like Morning Glory Milky Farm. CM Nascosta, that's it. CM Nascosta. She's got some really good shifter books in her Cambric Creek series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I recommend that. Anyway, next on my list is a bit of an older book. It came out in 2005.
Okay.
And it recently, well, not recently, it kind of came to my attention when I was getting really into dark academia, but I've not managed to pick it up yet.
Okay.
It's called The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. So this follows a young woman who finds an ancient book that's filled with like yellowing letters addressed to my dear and unfortunate successor, and she finds it in her father's library, and then the discovery of that pushes her into a world that she could never have even like dreamed of. So a labyrinth of her father's past, her mum's mysterious connection to a evil in the depths of history, and she basically ends up on a quest that is her birthright that she knew nothing about, and she's on the hunt for the truth about Vlad the Impaler, who as we all know is a vampire.
That is historical truth.
I mean, we've all seen What We Do in the Shadows, right?
Exactly. Oh my god, I need to rewatch that again.
Yeah, I've started from the beginning so I could watch a new series, so I've not got much left now.
I forgot they've got another series. Is this new series going to be the last one?
I don't know, because I think they are finishing up soon. I don't know if there's one more or if this is the last one. Yeah, so this is very much like dark academia in that it's about her throwing herself into the midst of the library. You know, she's looking up reference material. She gets obsessed with it. She gets dragged down a dark path because of it. Her life's in danger. Love it. I love it already.
Yeah.
It's 700 pages, which is why I've not touched it yet.
Yeah.
Because that is
commitment.
That is why you do this to me, you know? Mm-hmm. Maybe an audio. Whenever something's long, I'm like, maybe an audio.
I'll happily sit through 50 hours of audio. But don't make me read that.
Do you know what I was thinking? I do actually have a few werewolf books. I'll do a werewolf one soon as well. Right. Next on my list, I've only got 3 more.
Oh my god, we're doing so good.
It's quite a short list actually, because I've
not been very tangenty today.
I could go through thousands, but I'm trying to be quite realistic in these. I don't want to be like, look, I've got 200 werewolf books or vampire books. I want to be like, look, here's 9 that I could possibly
here's a nice
prioritise.
starting point.
Yeah. So this is by Silvia Moreno-Garcia, who I'm quite a fan of.
Yep, I feel like I've definitely heard that name.
Yeah, so she wrote the Mexican Gothic.
Yeah, right.
Gods of Jade and Shadow. What else have I read by her? Silver Nitrate. And then basically everything she's ever written is on my TBR. I just really like her writing style. So every single book is like a different genre.
Oh, okay.
And
all under the same pen name.
Yeah, and I
like
think that they all work really well. Mexican Gothic is like, Gothic horror, and then Silver Nitrate is like, Mexican Gothic is historical gothic horror. Silver Nitrate is like modern horror, and then she's got the daughter of Dr. Monroe, is that what it's called? The daughter of... So she's got some romances and as well, and various different fantasy. So this one is a fantasy. It's a fantasy. They all have a slight horror element. So this is a fantasy. It's called Certain Dark Things. This is a neo-noir vampire book.
Neo-noir?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, welcome to Mexico City, an oasis in a sea of vampires. So we follow Domenico, who is a garbage collecting street kid who's just trying to survive as a street kid.
Yeah.
And then he comes across a vampire. So the vampire is Atul, and it's the descendant of an Aztec blood drinking line.
Okay.
And Atul...
That's a little twist.
Yeah. Atul is smart, beautiful, dangerous. Domenico is absolutely obsessed, obviously. And then Atul is on the run, so he needs to escape the city. She needs to escape the city because she is being chased by a rival vampire clan. And she kind of ends up warming to Domenico, and he basically tags along for the ride. So there's like a trail of corpses behind them. The local cops are trying to find her. Crime bosses are trying to find her. The rival vampire gang are trying to find her. And they all collide in Mexico City, and it's just like chaos.
Oh.
And I think that sounds fun.
And this guy Domingo's like, this is a good place for me to be.
Yeah, I like the sound of this.
She's hot.
Yeah, basically. Out of all of Silvia Moreno-Garcia's books that I've seen people review, this one usually gets the lowest reviews.
Really?
I think the combination of all the things doesn't work for everyone.
Okay.
But yeah, this is the shortest book as well. It's only 260 pages. So...
that might be short enough for me.
I'm like a reading machine at the minute.
Yeah.
I should try and pick up some more books.
Maybe this should just be like a goal list for you once your Zodiac Academy obsession dies.
Isn't it funny? Like, I think on this podcast I've gone through such a journey. I feel like whilst I have always been a bit chaos, I feel like when we started this podcast, I think I was quite structured with my reading. I think I was quite good. I did like TBRs and followed them and stuff.
Yeah.
And then as my neurodivergency has come out in force over these last 4 years or whatever.
Yeah. 3 years?
3 years? 4.
How old is this podcast?
I don't know. I just feel like my reading has just got so chaos. I just don't... Like, if I look back to one of our earlier episodes, I bet I would be like, who is she?
Well, we both used to read, like, only in our favourite niches.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas I think we're either doing rec lists for you guys, or, like, when I'm telling you about books I've read and you're telling me about books you've read, it's both ones we wouldn't maybe have normally heard about. Yeah. And then, obviously, that and the blog, sometimes I just look up, like, oh, what's a trope? And then I don't do a genre, and then our rec list will include all sorts of books.
Yeah.
Which is the stuff like we never would have read. Like some things I've read because you recommended them that I never would have read before.
Yeah, it's so cool. Isn't it? I enjoy it.
Yeah. I like going outside my niche where it's just fantasy trash. I still read a lot of fantasy trash. I won't lie.
Trash is good. Just to be clear, like
but nothing wrong
it
with
has its
trash.
It has its place. It's enjoyable. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like entertainment TV, but as a book.
It's just that critically, like if you critiqued it, you possibly could critique it quite well.
Yeah. I don't know, like a trashy book that's fun to read still ends up being quite highly rated for me.
Yeah, I mean, as I was saying that, I was thinking, but if it knows what it's going for, can you critique it? You can't really, can you?
Because when it's like, this is when the cover and the description and everything is like, this is what I am. I am what I say on the tin.
And
I
that's
am
it, yeah.
this specific genre of trash. And then it's just giving, like, unapologetic, not trying to take itself too seriously. Like, I am trash from Trash Island. Enjoy.
Yeah.
And that, I love those kind of books. That just are like, I am this, utterly. And I'm good with it.
Yeah, and if the author is just like, this is what I want to do, then it's going to do that well.
Yeah. Yeah, just unapologetically, like, I'm writing a tacky shifter book.
Yeah.
You know, I'm writing a cheesy romance. I'm writing a cheesy second chance romance. Whatever, like, yeah.
Like, I'm writing a shifter book that you read when you're sitting in the doctor's waiting room. Like,
yeah.
That's the kind of vibe I'm going for.
I'm writing you a book for you to read at the beach.
Yeah.
No thoughts in the brain.
This is the kind of book that is going to be in your Airbnb for
Yeah.
you to read.
Yeah,
Like,
this is going to be one that ends up on shelves where you swap books, tattered books on holiday. So it's, you know.
Perfect.
Because I did write...
It's a genre.
I did write a blog about this, because this whole thing of they're saying, like, oh, book talk is sort of polluting fiction with, like, trash fiction.
Yeah, like it hasn't been around forever.
That's what the point I make in this book. First of all, I was like, so the fuck what? People are reading more than they ever have before.
Yeah.
I was like, 2, I don't agree. I think there's good stuff out there. And if you're only finding trash, you need to look a bit fucking harder. There's all these reviews now. You can find what's right for you.
Yeah.
It's just laziness. If you're saying, oh, I'm reading these books and they're all trash.
Well, you're feeding the algorithm what you want to have.
Don't read it.
Yeah.
No one's asking you to.
When people are like, there's only the same 5 books, it's like, well, that's because you've not looked anywhere else. Like.
And then I was like, also, this type of fiction has always existed. It's been in airport lounges. It's been in hotel, lobbies. It has been on supermarket shelves. It has been in WH Smith.
It's because it's seen as women's books.
Yeah. I was like, this stuff has always existed. Like your Daniel Steele's.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get to be superior because it's not for you.
But
maybe it's just not for you.
There's so many books that were considered trash in their time and are now considered...
Yeah, masterpieces.
Like, Sherlock Holmes, not trash, but it was like it was in a newspaper, wasn't it?
Well, he hated it, didn't he? The author. I took no pride in this series. That's why he tries to kill Sherlock repeatedly. Because he's like, I just want to be done. And it's actually his mum who... I think I watched a video that was like, his mum is basically like, you fucking idiot.
Like, this is going to give you money.
This is money.
Yeah. Make it rain, bitch.
Because that's why, like,
and
Sherlock's return from the dead that happens was he wanted to be done.
Yeah.
And his mum was basically like, you fucking moron. Yeah, come on. Write your other books. Under a pen name, maybe, but continue making your cash cow.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking idiot.
And what's his name that does, like, Christmas Carol and stuff?
Charles Dickens.
Yeah, that was all, like...
Well, he was published in penny magazines.
Yeah.
So he was writing for everyday working class people.
Yeah. So that would have probably been comparable to, like, these books that people complain about now.
Well, that is the very argument I used with a tutor at university who was quite snobbish about my preferred reading.
Of a genre.
The genre as a whole.
Yeah.
Fantasy as a whole, trashed it.
Genre fiction is just like...
And then, like, I don't know, even like Terry Pratchett, he had not a lot of bad things to say about him. I was like, he's published 50 books.
Probably never even read them either.
Yeah, and he's like, well, it's fiction for the masses. And I was like, so was Charles Dickens.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter, mate.
And he was like,
why does fiction have to be for just a select few?
Of course it's for the masses. It's supposed to fucking sell, you idiot.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about?
It's supposed to be sellable. It's supposed to be marketable. Yeah. You fucking idiot.
Do you not understand literature? Why are you teaching about it?
And he was like comparing Terry Pratchett to like 50 Shades of Grey. I was like, no.
Quite different.
He's like, it's all just media for the masses. And I was like, I feel like it fulfills a different purpose. And she has still published more than the 2 fucking books you published in your entire career that 3 people have read.
Yeah.
So let's
just... it's only because you forced them to read it as a class.
Let's all just, you assign it as a class fucking book to read, so it's students buying your book. Yeah. Like, let's calm down.
Calm it down, mate.
Let's calm down. That's the same author. That's why I use the Charles Dickens argument, because he's the one that said to me, "You will never be a good writer if you don't like Charles Dickens." And I was
That's completely irrelevant.
You'll never be a good writer. Now I write for a living.
There's probably a lot of writers out there that have just never read Charles Dickens.
You know what? He got paid by the word, and I will always say you can fucking tell. And the chapters were published monthly, so each chapter is a book in itself. It's an episode. It's a beginning, middle, end, and you can just tell. So it's just not for me. But yeah, but I'm like, when he says, "Oh, it's media for the masses," and I'm like, so was Charles Dickens in his day.
What is your problem?
So, anyway, that was the tangent. So we've done quite well without the tangents up to now.
Yeah. At least it was relevant.
Woohoo!
So next on my list is the second in a series. I want to continue in this series, but I don't know if I've got to a point that I might have to reread the first, which is a bit annoying. But A Shadow of Night, which is the second in the All Souls series by Deborah Harkness. The first one is A Discovery of Witches.
Deborah Harkness, right, yeah.
Yeah. A Discovery of Witches ends on a cliffhanger, and this picks up immediately after. They're long books, which has put me off rereading, but I do need to reread the first one, really.
They are good. From everything I've heard about them.
Yeah.
I've not read them. I do have them somewhere.
Probably.
They're buried.
Hiding, yeah. So, it follows a witch, a vampire. They're adults, just FYI. But this is very much like Twilight for adults, I would say. In a good way. A good way. So it follows Diana, who is a witch. It follows Matthew, who is a vampire geneticist. And in the first book, they meet, kind of become reluctant, not co-workers. They help each other reluctantly and then end up getting together. There's like ghouls in it. There's vampires trying to kill Diana, and Matthew is trying to keep her safe. A whole thing happens in the first book. The end is a cliffhanger, and then in the second book they end up back in time. So this takes place in the past,
right?
In Elizabethan London.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, like
interesting.
And then there's 4 books in this series. So I do want to finish this. I do want to read this series. The first book I really enjoyed. I do think that now I'm getting better at reading series together.
Yeah.
Not that it's hindered my enjoyment before, having big gaps. Otherwise I wouldn't have done it that way. But I do feel like maybe it might be good to reread the first one and do this together.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that is what's putting me off picking up the second one, because I feel like I don't remember much of the first one.
Yeah, that's why I don't know how you can have long gaps, because I am well aware of what your memory is like.
Yeah, I know, right?
So that's why I'm always like, how do you have long gaps when you... Sometimes you'll have just read a book and you can't tell me what's happened in it.
My brain is like, I remember this one. Oh, I'm not going to remember anything about that one. Screw that one. Okay, the last one is a translated book that I have seen the film of. I love the film. I've seen the American remake. I love that one. I need to read the book. Okay. So it's Let the Right One In by John...
This one I have heard of.
John Ajvide Lindqvist. Sorry, John. I may have lived in Sweden, but I still cannot pronounce a lot of words. And this is the first in the Let the Right One In series. So this is set in 1981 in a suburb in Sweden, and it follows a 12-year-old boy, Oscar, who is getting horrendously bullied by his classmates. Think like Carrie from Stephen King. And one day he meets a little girl who has moved in next door, and she only seems to come out at night, and it seems a bit weird, and they become friends, and obviously he finds out she's a vampire,
right? And
she helps him with his bullies. I'll leave it at that. It's a gory film.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Both of them. The remake's actually really good as well. Yeah. So I enjoy both the films. I just need to read the book. I just have to.
It's unusual for you to watch the film before the book.
Exactly, yeah. Tell me about it.
Very unusual.
Yeah. I think I didn't realise this had a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it a little girl, like, murdering people?
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, and this is the only translated one on this list. That's another thing I've not been reading much of, which I need to address. More translated work.
Somebody's just got to go with the Brain Goblins want to go, though.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Currently they want to read Zodiac Academy.
Apparently.
Apparently.
But yeah, so that is like my kind of curated vampire books I want to prioritise, basically.
I don't know if I've got any vampire stuff on my list right now.
A Tempest of Tea.
Oh yeah. Wait, is Bride vampires?
No, it's just shifters, I think.
Wait, I can tell you about my holiday TBR, even though for you guys it will be in the past.
Yeah.
Right now it's in the future. So I want to take the new Emily Henry book.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Places?
Happy Place.
Yeah. Bride, The X-Talk, River of Golden Bones, The Wake Up Call, The Hating Game. Just taking a lot of my
romance
paperbacks, because they're perfect for holidays.
Yeah.
That's what they are. I feel like that's quite an ambitious list. If I finish it, I've got the Kindle, so that's what I'm going for.
You're like, that's an ambitious list. But if I finish it, who are you? Me? Always assuming you've got more space than you do.
Depends. Sometimes I get on holiday and I'm like, I don't really feel like reading.
Yeah.
I just want to lie here like a potato. And sometimes that's all I want to do. Like the holiday where I read Akata, that was great.
You've really got to immerse yourself.
Yeah, because all I did was read all day and then go to dinner, but then read at dinner and then come home and read.
Yeah.
It was, and just like in the sun.
I miss days like that. Last time I could do anything like that, I was pregnant.
Aww. Pregnant and sleepy.
Yeah. Oh, I guess when my first was a baby, I probably had days like that. No, I think I was just too tired.
He did a lot of audios.
Yeah,
he used to walk around the block.
I used to have to do like 2-hour walks every day to get him to have a nap. So I used to like listen to an audio.
Oh, the things mums go through.
Yeah, that was how I got like really like toned then.
Oh yeah.
Because
I remember I didn't see you for a bit when he first came along, and then like you just appeared, and I was like, how are you slimmer than before? Having a baby. I was like, what the fuck has happened?
It's because of all the walking I did. Yeah, because like this time round, I was like, my body's making me really sad. And at this point with my first child, my body looked a lot different, and my partner was like, well, you don't walk. And I'm like, yeah, that's true, because I did like 2-hour walks every day.
Also, he was born differently.
Yeah.
Because you had a natural birth with your second and cesarean with the first, which changes hormones as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm older.
You're older. You're decrepit.
I am.
You had another human being to take care of this whole time.
Yeah.
At the same time as having a new one. And you had 10,000 jobs.
Yeah. And I was eating better then. Like, the magic of actually properly eating. You think if you don't eat, you'll lose weight, but eating healthily is what helps you.
Yeah.
Not that my goal is to lose weight. I just want to feel... I don't feel at home in my body.
Yeah.
And I want to feel more at home.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it was closer to the shape I am used to, I would feel more at home. Or maybe I just need to learn to be at home in what
I don't know, sometimes I have these arguments with myself of like, you're not supposed to have the body that you're picturing of when you were like 20.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to.
No.
Because you're not a teenager. You're not in your early 20s.
No.
You don't have that metabolism anymore.
Definitely not.
So like I have this argument with myself quite a lot. It's like the picture of me that I'm always, even though I don't diet and I don't believe in dieting, it's not the reason I exercise. I'm the part of me that was raised in the 90s. In the back of my head is always like, I'm trying to get back to that. And it's like, no, you were actually a child. maybe you can't go back to that. Maybe that's, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a bit of a weird ending.
Bit of a tangent.
Thank you for joining us. I will definitely do a werewolf one soon. We'll put that
go and
in
have
the
a little look at our planner.
If you didn't see, we haven't yet, but we will have announced what our next book club read is.
Yep.
It'll be on our Storygraph, our Instagram, etc.
All our socials.
Please come and join us and read it with us, whatever it is, and chat with us either on Storygraph, on our Discord, which link is in the bio, or on our Facebook group, which is Lazy Book Lovers Podcast. And as always, we would love it if you would consider following us or rating us wherever you listen to your podcast. It would really help us in the algorithm.
Yeah.
And we will see you next week for whatever next week is.
Because we haven't done that planning yet. Enjoy!
Love you, bye!